Hi, I am Nathan,
I'm Andrew.
and we're the Boxer Rebellion. Well, we're two of the Boxer Rebellion, and you're watching Toasted.
Boxer Rebellion, welcome to Amsterdam.
Uh, hello.
It's freezing right now because we thought it was a good idea to stand in the sun, which of course disappeared in a second. But I guess you guys are used to something, right?
Yeah, we're from England. That's okay. It's our natural habitat, you know.
The sleeve, the artwork of your new record is far from the cold, actually.
Yes. Um,
Oh,
we recorded the album in LA, and
did?
so we decided to leave a little bit of that sunshine vibe to this album. So
Beautiful artwork. I'm a surfer. It reminded me of Clark Little, who is a famous surfer and a famous surf photographer. Was the artwork inspired by him at all? Or?
I don't. Well, no, it was basically we had the idea of like what we wanted, and then we had a mood board, and we hired a guy that's a comic book artist, and he does a lot of stuff for DC Comics. He's like does anyone from like Batman and stuff like. So we just gave him that brief, and he ran with it, and that's what he came up with. So
Is he anyone we should know?
his name's Trevor McCarthy. So I don't know. He's not huge, but he's doing all right for himself.
Comic fans will probably know him. So, hey, I love the album. I think it's an album. There's several tracks on there that are outstanding, and we'll talk later to that. Made me think. How did you start writing? When did you start writing? And how did you choose songs that are on the album? Because I guess you wrote a lot more, probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, we had a pool of around 28 songs or more than that, to choose from, and it was maybe a year or more of a in length of process. So, yeah, we were able to focus so much on every single element of every single track, and then we just whittled it down, whittled it down. When we went in to record, I think we had maybe 16 songs that were on the list, and then there was some there was some debate over which songs could go on the album, but in the end, we're happy with this concise kind of package that we all really loved.
I'm happy with it too. A beautiful album. No, it's like it's a really a listening album. You can listen from A to Z. I love the ending as well, by the way. So I'm gonna skip that right away. Let It Go. I choose to be happy. Ending record with that. Why? And also very beautiful.
Yeah, because we had another song. The song before that is called "You Can Love Me," and there was some debate whether or not that should be the last song because it kind of sounds like a last song as well. Because you just get these feelings of that's a first track on our album, that's the last track. Let It Go. Yeah, because of that lyric, I thought, and I think we all thought that was a great way to end the album. Optimistic kind of thing to say because the song at first, like the lyrics are a little bit. I don't know, downbeat. I guess I found I was I don't know I have a little boy and I was looking at children's books and it was a title of a children's book. It said something like along those lines of I choose to be happy, so why do I feel sad? I guess it was one of those kind of things about understanding your feelings or whatever. So I kind of wrote that down and I stole it, I guess you could say. And so, but then, so the whole lyrics were that, and I was just repeating and repeating it. And it was only when we were listening back that I changed it to end with "I choose to be happy," and just to kind of give it a bit more positivity. And it's it's a really nice way to end the album.
Do you write most of the lyrics?
Yes, yes.
Very personal lyrics.
Um, they can be, and sometimes I like to imagine different scenarios in my head, like or write stuff off of like films I've seen or books I've read or just
Because like you said,
news stories or whatever that aren't necessarily super specific, but it gives a general idea or a like almost like a painting trying to kind of it conveys an emotion rather than uh, something exact, if that makes sense.
lots of course, lots of ups and downs, like you said. Love is a big theme on the album. One of my favorite songs is Weapon.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it about somebody actually?
Well, that lyric kind of just came in my head. You're a weapon, and I just kind of like I just like that idea of it. I know it's not the most original saying in the world, but we I brought in like a loop, like a something from Apple Loops or whatever, and it kind of morphed from there. But it's different for us, that song.
The first single that I found online actually that you released is Big Ideas, and I guess you heard this a lot from people. It's very you too.
That's the first time we've actually heard that. I mean, yeah, that's the first time we heard that.
I've told you it's
Well,
very you
apart from
too.
you, apart from you.
So did you? Okay, good.
Those are the only ones who said it so far. Yeah, I mean, it's quite anthemic. It's a big chorus and
Lots
got loads of delay on the guitars, so that makes sense that you would say that. I can
But is it actually? Because I love you too. I love the older stuff actually, and I led to this question because of the following was like, how can U2, which was like the coolest band ever with the greatest songs ever, and now they've become so uncool, and it's almost like a tribute from you guys to a big band, and make it cool again.
Yeah, I guess. Well, we can carry the torch from the cool days onto now.
Yeah,
we'll make it cool again.
We actually did our photos in Joshua Tree as well a
You
few
did?
weeks ago. Yeah, but no, I mean I'm a massive U2 fan. A lot of the earlier stuff as well. I don't know why they've kind of lost that. I mean they obviously still sell tickets and they're still a really big band, but I think it's because they're very outspoken, or at least Bono. And so I think sometimes that is to their detriment. But Big Ideas is definitely has that inspired U2 feel. It's the upbeatness and the kind of it's a good driving song, I would say.
And you guys, of course, I delved into your history, checked out all your Twitter accounts and all that stuff. One thing that struck me, and I don't know if it's still true, it said that's what it said on Wikipedia. The band is still unsigned. Is that true?
Not. I mean, we license our stuff, so through our own imprint, and then I mean, I guess we just get money from a different way. It's either from us or through investment, and that kind of keeps us going. Whereas, I guess the old style way is the label would fund things, whereas we kind of find the funding and then we release it ourselves, usually through licensing. So this album's through a company called Cobalt. So
Because it made me think, like, actually, if I see what you guys pulled off without a record company, you moved on, self-funded tours. What do you need a record company for anyway?
Well, I mean, I guess you have a certain force behind you with a big major label, but then you have less control over that. So that's something that we're definitely attracted to.
And also, I mean, creatively, you guys pulled it off. Because I mean, you've been around for, let's say, at least 12 years now.
yeah, well, even longer, I think. It was something that we were kind of almost thrown into though. And it was at a time when there was a lot of uncertainty. I mean, I guess in the music industry, there's always a little bit of uncertainty, but yeah, we were, excuse me, we were thrown into it, and that was the situation. How we were gonna release a record. We had already finished the record, so how are we gonna release it? And it was kind of the only way, the way forward.
Because what I read was, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is unchecked facts off of the internet, which is probably always unchecked and
it's always right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like
It said that you guys released the album 2 weeks after the release. The record company kind of dissolved.
oh yeah, the first album, yeah. It was through it was on a major label, and there was through a subsidiary called Pop Tones, and Pop Tones basically absolved. Yeah.
Talking about disappearing, let's disappear. Wow, what a great bridge.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that song.
Oh, thanks. It's probably us at our most 1980s, I would say. That is that's the song that kind of came late on, and it's got I don't know. It's got good vibes. The
Yeah.
bridge is really. It's probably the most funk we've ever been, if you could call it funk. Our bass player plays slap.
For the
Adam,
first time.
yeah.
For the first time, yeah. I think there's a couple of songs on this album that we wrote that started to venture in a different direction. Weapon was one of those, which felt like a little bit of a risk. But all those elements, slightly risky elements, kind of came together, and it just made something really good. And Less Disappear was in that similar vein as well.
When you say risk, to me it's like that those are the most outstanding songs of the album, and of course I can imagine that you don't want to lose your fans or something, but if you create great songs like that, by all means pursue the risk.
Well, what I mean is, like, texturally, some things are a bit more risky. Like, for instance, there are associations with slap bass, and there are associations with certain loops and things like that. But if you craft it in the right way, then you hope that it's gonna achieve the effect you want.